So I've given you in the little booklet, little this month, I should say, I've given you a bunch of information, including on an article that some highlights from an article from Sage Woman magazine that I really, really love. So I'm not going to read those things today. So that's just for you to continue to connect in, because I want to make the best of your time. And then, of course, I've given you some prayers. And on top of all of that, today is the new moon. So well, actually tomorrow, it'll be super early in the morning tomorrow. So if you are watching this after that, just know that by you choosing to connect in this time, in this place, you are accessing the energies of that Pisces full moon. Pisces new moon. So I've given some lunar notes and kind of just a little bit of information, and we will go over that in just a moment. And then, of course, we've got the devotional practices that wanted to be continued, but also deepened. We've been working on doing that body prayer, really giving yourself an opportunity to integrate your connection to the goddess, integrate it into your everyday life right now as it is, without having to feel like you have to spend hours and hours. With the body prayer, you definitely are only taking just a few minutes. So I tweaked our body prayer a little bit to connect us deeper with Inanna. And I've given you a deepening suggestion of stripping yourself and doing your simple body prayer naked, looking in a full-length mirror, really being completely stripped of all of your vestiges down to the bone, as Inanna was in her journey to the underworld. So I would love for you to continue to practice that and to see how you feel about that. And then, of course, when these goddesses come forth to ask to be worked with and spoken upon, whoops, I'm losing my lights here. They always come through with a little bit of a prayer. It's sometimes very interesting for me as priestess and space holder, in that I'm, even though I've already kind of mapped out which goddesses we're going to work with for each month, it's interesting that as I go through working with the goddesses in planning the materials, but then I also go through with you as well in that energy, in that time. And so it's kind of like when one goddess is working with me, another goddess kind of steps up to start working the energy. And so it's kind of interesting to notice how how one goddess, the goddess of one moon cycle to the goddess of the next moon cycle, starts to really bridge together and meld into this beautiful energy. So I'd be curious to hear how you're experiencing that as well. So let's see, I'm looking at my notes here because I had a lot that I wanted to speak about. Just a housekeeping note that I did not mention at the beginning. I'm in the process of moving all of our archives onto a dedicated page on my website, so that is going to take a little bit of time. So if you do not have access to the archives, it might be one of two reasons. It might be because I'm moving it, or I've decided the archives are only going to be available for people who are continuing. So I have a lot of 1 month trial people who are in circle right now. So if you are a 1 month trial person, I invite you to sign up for a 3-month or a 6-month or even for a year, so that you can have access to all of the archives. We've been going, Circle of the Moon has been going since November, so we do have a few things, but yeah, okay. So that's the bit of housekeeping done. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in with our meditation for this month. And I just invite you, I feel really good in my body, and I hope that you do too after that little bit of movement and calling in sacred space. So just make yourself super, super comfortable in your chair, wherever you are at. And let me make sure that I have my music shared. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. Okay. So just really settle into your seat. And I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And take 3 deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and softly out through your mouth. Breathing in again, allowing your lungs to fill and expand, and then breathing out. And then just really allow your body to soften and relax as you breathe at your own pace. Bring your attention down to your feet. Feel your feet firmly planted on the floor beneath you. And just imagine that there are roots coming up from Mother Earth, from deep within the earth, coming up, wrapping themselves around your feet, around your ankles, around your lower legs. Feel yourself firmly rooted and grounded in Mother Earth. So, before we get started, I wanted to remind you that I'm in the process of moving all of our things, all of the archives from our previous circles from the message board onto a dedicated page on my website, so that way you'll have access to both the video and the downloads that go with that particular month. If you are a 1-month trial person, you will not have access to the archives just yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it, because I've had a lot of people come in and take that information. So I'm trying to sort that out. So, but do stay in touch with me. All right, so let's talk about Inanna. So I've given you a whole lot of information here about Inanna, but what I don't want to read the whole thing, because I want you to enjoy that over the course of this moon cycle. But I do want to say that Inanna is the Sumerian goddess of love and war, known as Ishtar by the Babylonians. Inanna was worshipped throughout Mesopotamia as the queen of heaven and earth. Inanna is the first daughter of the moon and the star of the morning and evening. Like Anat and Aphrodite, who is believed to have an Eastern origin, she is linked to the planet Venus. and her powers of seduction, sensuality made her synonymous with fertility and mating rights. Inanna, I think, is probably best known by her connection to her sister, Ereshkigal, and her. There's a lot of conversation about Inanna's descent, how she had to go through these 7 gateways in order to be completely divested of all of the things that made her queen, and then she went, and the reason that she went down into this underworld journey was to visit her sister Ereshkigal. So, and in her being divested of all of these, of all of the things that she, of all of the things that made her, of all of those outwardly things, all of those egoistic things, she's left stripped completely bare, naked, and really exposed, really feeling exposed. And so as I was tuning in to her and asking her, trying to shape the meditation, one of the things that came forward was this capacity to work with the shadow. And this is what I'm seeing, or at least what I'm not seeing, really going on a lot. This embracing of the shadow, this really being able to be with the ugly bits, the bits that strip us naked and bare. These systems and structures that were put in during a time that is no longer here, and this attachment to these old, dying, decaying things, and not really accepting this is who we were, this is who I was, and now I'm different. I'm letting this part die, and I'm taking the lessons that I have learned from this part and using the good material from it, letting the junk and the misconceptions and the hatred and all of that stuff just die away, and allowing for things to come forward, allowing for things to be rebirthed, allowing for new understanding, new information, new ideas to really be built upon, burning all of that down, rising on from the ashes. So today's meditation will be one of embracing the shadow. What else did I want to say? Okay, I don't want to go into the lunar notes yet. So continuing just with a little bit more information about Inanna is that a lot of the themes that are surrounding Inanna are death, resurrection, fertility, war, politics, courage, femininity, wisdom. So, of course, as with all the other goddesses, Inanna is very complex as well. Some of her symbols include the lion, the 8-pointed star, and sprouts and spring growth, lily of the valley, and lotus. And then the colors, green, black, red, silver, and white. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. I've given you a couple of prayers that I've written because it's been interesting to me that as I prepare for all of these, I've already kind of mapped out which goddesses, well, I've already opened to which goddesses want to work with us on each different moon cycle. And so for me, as we are really exploring one goddess, another goddess is already kind of knocking at the door. So if you have been with me for a while, I would be interested in hearing some of your insights about how working with one goddess and moving into the energy of another goddess, are you starting to notice a difference? Are you starting to get a sense of the flavor of one goddess and the flavor of another goddess? Are you starting to notice when the next goddess starts to move into your sphere, your energy, making herself known, whether it's through her symbols or whether you're just like, that reminds me of something that was said in circle. All right. So for this meditation, I invite you to, I have the page that says messages from Inanna. And this is actually going to be from our shadow self. So you want to just have that page handy if you have already printed out the booklet for this time. And I'm going to invite you to get really comfortable. Make sure you have your pen and paper handy or a journal, something to write on. So I'm going to guide you through this meditation. And directly after you come back from this meditation, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and I will tell you again at the end of this to pause the recording and to just take any notes that you need for yourself. All right, here we go. All right, so settling in your chair, you want to begin by sitting up tall. And if it feels good to you, allow your eyes to close. Take in 3 deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth gently. Now breathe in deeply again, allowing your lungs to fill and expand. And then breathe out. Now breathe in deeply again, and as you breathe out, just allow your body to really soften and relax. Now bring your attention down into your feet. Feel your feet firmly planted on the floor beneath you. See the roots coming up from Mother Earth, from deep within the earth. See these roots coming up and wrapping themselves around your feet, around your ankles, around your lower legs. And you know that with these roots wrapping around you, wrapping around your lower body, you are feeling firmly grounded in Mother Earth, firmly rooted in Mother Earth, so that anywhere you go in visions today, you can always find your way back. So now bring your attention to your heart and just notice how your heart is feeling. Not trying to change anything. Just being present. And with your next breath, allow that breath to move into your heart, feeling into the tenderness. And see if you can allow your heart to open even more and soften. Now, in your mind's eye, you find yourself in a beautiful, enchanted forest. You begin to take in the sights of the forest. You look at the sky and you see it's beautiful, crystal clear. You start to look around the forest, seeing all the vibrant colors, taking in the sights before you. You see animals, insects, and birds. There's so many beautiful flowers and trees surrounding you, and it feels so magical and mystical here. You begin to walk feeling a sense of aliveness and joy and awe at the beauty that is surrounding you. You feel you're being saturated by the beauty and the majesty and the magic that is all around you. This is truly a special place, and you just feel so grateful to be here. You feel a fullness in your being. You begin to follow a path, glancing around, feeling the soft, gentle breeze on your skin, the warmth of the air. You see rays of light coming in through the trees. And up ahead, you see a clearing. You begin to walk towards that clearing. As you approach, you see a circle of stones. And in the center of the circle is a mirror. It's a beautifully ornate framed mirror. Go and pick it up. You know it's there for you. You take a moment and pause, and you sense maybe some resistance or hesitancy. Because you know that when you look at that mirror, you're going to see your shadow. And there's a part of you that doesn't want to leave this beautiful place that surrounds you. But then you remember your connection to the goddess Inanna and how she completely divested herself of all of those things to look at herself, to look at her shadow. And you know that it is time for you to take a look at your shadow, to take a look at that which dims your light, that which feels heavy and dark. You know that's an aspect of you that you want to hide or deny, something that feels heavy or wrong or shameful. But you know that it is time. So you place your hands on the mirror and you bring the mirror up to the face, up to your face. And you see your reflection. And as you look at yourself in the mirror, you feel tears. Tears in your eyes and a sadness in your heart as you see the woman staring back at you. You know that she's just a shadow, waiting to be seen, wanting to be seen, waiting for the light to be shown upon her. You say hello to her, and she stares back at you. You tell her that you're ready to welcome her and to get to know her. To get to know her so intimately that she becomes your friend and you become her friend. You continue looking into her eyes. Then you ask her what it is that she would like you to know. What is it that I need to know? What messages do you have for me? You continue looking at her, looking into the eyes of your shadow. And she begins to share with you. She tells you where it is that she needs your light. She tells you how she is feeling, and she shares the shame, the sadness, the pain, and then she tells you what she needs. You ask her any questions you need to know to get to know her. Why is she there? What does she need? What does she want? And as she begins to share with you, you see the back. You see her staring back. And she's beginning to soften. You see a sparkle begin to return to her eyes, and you feel your heart opening. And you're starting to get a feeling and a sense of love for this shadow in front of you, knowing that she's there for a good reason, knowing that she has gifts for you if only you take the time to see her and be with her, and to acknowledge her and to love her and to listen to her. So you give her time and take the time to get to know her a little bit more intimately. As she shares, you see that her face becomes lighter, warmer, softer. You feel yourself becoming warmer, softer, lighter. You begin to feel more free and more at ease with this shadow staring back at you. She has become your friend, your greatest ally, your sister. As you look into her eyes, you feel a deep sense of love and gratitude in your heart, and you thank her for the messages that she has brought for you, for the gifts that she is bringing to you, and you offer your thanks and love. And in return, she looks back at you and offers you gratitude and love. So take a moment here to say goodbye to her. And as you place the mirror back down in the center of the stones, you feel a sense of fullness and wholeness, and you allow the reflection of your shadow to integrate into your being. And as you stand there and take a deep breath for a moment and smell the fragrant air from the forest, you know that you can come back to this space at any time. You make your way back down the path towards the forest, and you feel that the forest has become even more beautiful. You have a renewed sense of fullness and wholeness, and you know that it is time to leave the forest. Make a promise to yourself to come back and see your shadow and hear anything else that she wants to share with you, anything else that she needs, anything else that she requires. And now bring your awareness back into your heart, into your body. Bring your awareness back into your feet. Wriggle your toes and stretch if you need to. And open your eyes. And take a moment here to record any messages that you received from your shadow, from Inanna. Is there anything that Inanna wants you to know? And if you need more time here, do make sure that you pause the recording and give yourself all the time that you need. And when we come back, we'll dive deeper into the Pisces new moon. Okay, so Pisces says that I am Pisces, a water sign. I create the 12th gateway of awareness through which I teach the importance of a compassionate heart. I feel the grief and suffering of humanity and respond with a loving, caring heart that heals. I am deeply spiritual, intuitive, and psychic, and I serve the world by dreaming the visions of a peaceful planet and selflessly helping others to create a better life. I completely merge with humanity and the divine. Okay, so Pisces is the 12th house or 12th gateway of awareness in the astrology chart. And Pisces says, I dream, as it invites us into the imaginal water realm, asking us to transcend what we think we know to be true right now, so that we can dream into what could be. This dreaming, the future, includes not only what is possible for ourselves, but also for our neighborhoods, states, countries, and the world at large. Pisces invites us to bring our spiritual life into co-creative union with our mundane life. And sorry, my book is out of order. Thank you for your patience with me here as I'm getting my things together here. Okay, so in the shadow aspect, Pisces encourages us to dive deep into the ways we sabotage ourselves from moving forward. This shadow work is done by going deep within to find the feelings unexpressed or still charged from past experiences that keeps our energy bound to old ways of being. So that is one of the reasons why we just did that journaling with connecting with that shadow piece. But we also want to dive in a little bit deeper with Pisces and answer some questions here. And so I'm going to go through these a little bit quickly, and I invite you to pause and give yourself as much journaling time as you need. So, is there anything that has me deep in my feelings right now? So examples might be relationships, frustration, lack of something, frustration around lack, annoyance at your body, anything like that, anything. Okay, and again, give yourself time to journal with that. Now we want to move into how do you want to feel? So you're feeling some type of way, but how do you really want to feel about this situation? What would be the ultimate way that you would like to come away from this feeling? Okay, and so again, pause if you need to. Where are these feelings stuck in my body? So you might notice that as we were writing these feelings, as we were writing these situations, that you might have noticed a twinge in your body, or you might have noticed like a feeling in your body. Where are these feelings stuck in your body? Just make a note here. Okay. And now I invite you to pause the recording, and let me pause this. So I invite you to pause the recording now and put on your favorite song. Just put on a favorite piece of music, get moving, and really focus your attention on moving that part of the body. If you felt it, for example, I noticed that when I'm thinking of this situation, I notice that there's a little bit twinging in my hip and in my knee. So as I'm moving, I'm going to pay special attention to moving that feeling out of my hip, out of my body, from my hip and my knee. Okay, so I'm going to be moving my hips a lot more. I'm going to be moving really more gently with my knees. Okay, but if you did not notice any kind of twinging or anything like that in your body, if you have a feminine body, we have a tendency to hold things in our womb space. So really focus on moving your hips a lot. So anything that lets you swing your hips around, anything that lets you really get the moving, and sticking your butt out and really shaking your butt too. Okay, bend your knees so that you can really get that booty moving. Okay, and then pause it. So pause the recording, do that now. Make any notes that you need to about how you felt after that, and then come back and we'll dive a little bit deeper into our connection to Pisces. And we're back. All right, so what do you want to welcome in this moon cycle? What is your intention for this Pisces new moon cycle? And as we're moving into this Pisces, we have a few more days where Pisces is connected to the Pisces sun. So really allow yourself to envision something more for yourself, something bigger for yourself than you have ever done before. And use words like I welcome, I call in, I invite. Okay, so pause the recording if you need more time to get that together. But I invite you to really make it simple for yourself, like one sentence, something that you can very easily say. Okay, so we want to tune in to Earth. Earth is the physical realm, and so we want to know what supports me in the physical, and I know doing is kind of the action, but like there are physical things that need to happen. Like you need to sit your behind in the seat if your intention is to invite in a book of your own poetry. You have to sit down and do some of the physical work, right? So what supports you in all of the physicalness of your intention? And so Earth says embody wholeness. So I invite you just to write, you see, I am rooted in embodying wholeness. So that would be kind of your affirmation sentence for Earth, the physical realm. And so what does that mean to you? Like give yourself 3 tangible things that make you feel really connected, really rooted in your wholeness. So just to kind of give you an example, one of the things that really is that's helping me to embody wholeness is taking out my journal and writing poetry, getting outside and allowing the sunshine to be on my face, taking a walk, something that gets me in my body. So that might work for you as well. Getting on the groove dance floor. Okay. Now moving into the water realm. Thank you, air. I'm sorry. Thank you, Earth. How do I feel now? And how do I want to feel? So let's see. How water wants to support you. Let's do that first. How does water want to support me? Okay. So water says regeneration. And so when I think about regeneration in this context, I'm often reminded of how, sometimes what a plant looks like when it does not have enough water. Its leaves are kind of droopy, but then after you give it some water, then it kind of perks back up. So when I'm feeling kind of droopy, when I'm feeling kind of dried out, what do I need? What regenerates me? What regenerates you? So it could literally be drinking water. That's one of the things that's coming up for me. And that question, how do I feel? How do I want to feel? When you think about your intention right now, how are you feeling right now about it? And how do you want to feel about it? and if you need more time with this one, again, make sure you pause the recording. All right, so moving into the air realm. So let's see how air wants us to affirm ourselves first. So air says to affirm yourself by taking a deeper perspective, gaining perspective. So what does that mean for you? And then how do you want to see yourself? So this is really a place to give yourself space to envision. So in your mind's eye, when you see yourself with your manifestation, with your creation, with your goal, with whatever your intention is, how do you see yourself? Begin to write that vision down and give yourself, pause the recording here if you need to really give yourself space to vision even bigger for yourself than ever before, even bigger, because that's what we need. We need big visions. Hardly matters if they come true. We just need to really expand. Okay. Okay, so tuning into the fire realm, let's see how fire is inviting us to energize ourselves in this moon cycle. Life force. Okay. Oops, another card popped out. Okay, so we're going to go with this one too, warmth. So when life force comes up in a reading, we want to tune into our capacity, like a dimmer switch, to turn our energy way up and to turn it down and to find that sweet spot. So fire is asking us to really work with how we can turn up our life force in a way that we can find that sweet spot. And warmth was the other card that popped out. And what I'm getting for warmth, myself personally, is to, when we find that sweet spot, we'll know that we're in that sweet spot by the feeling of warmth, by that kind of settling in and really being able to, that feeling, that sense of accomplishment, that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of energetic, like we have energetic capacity. And then what actions do you want or need to do to support that capacity to turn up and turn down your life force? Like, what are some of the things that you can do? 2 or 3 things here. Okay. And again, pause the recording if you need to. And then tuning into spirit. How does Inanna, so how does this moon cycle's goddess, how does Inanna want to support you? Okay. So tuning into spirit here, how does Inanna want to support us? Power of choice. So I feel like Inanna is reminding us here that we have the power to choose. Nothing will happen until we make a choice. Nothing will move forward until we make a choice. We have to choose. And sometimes making a choice is choosing again and again and again, multiple times, not just once and then one and done, you know? All right, my friends. It was really lovely to be with you today. I just want to say that. I just want to sit here and be with you. And I would love to be with you live sometimes. And for as many of us as possible. I know time zones are a little bit wibbly wobbly, and I know we're getting to the point where, I know I am getting to the point where I'm getting a little bit of Zoom fatigue. And so I just invite you to do whatever it is that you need to take care of yourself. And also, I would love for us to be live. I would love to be able to try and find a time that would work for people. So never hesitate to send me an email and let me know, hey, I'm usually better for these times. So I'm still working with that. And so as we close our circle today, I just want to give thanks to Inanna for opening this pathway to working with our shadow, to letting things die from us so that they can be born again, so that we can rise from it and be born again. And I thank you for taking the time for entrusting me with this sacred duty of holding space for you. Giving thanks to the elements of earth and water, air and fire and spirit. The circle is now open. Take very good care of yourself. Try and get outside, get some water, take some deep breaths, really love on yourself. And I will see you on the chat boards, and I will see you next circle of the moon. Bye-bye.